Alright, so today we're going to be talking about electronic faceplate hinges and how to get them set up. Um, Now, I've done tutorials on how to do faceplate hinges, doing mock setups first, basically like a template. This is for the war machine I'm working on. Um, and then basically starting from there, and then once you do that, usually there's a few different ways you can hinge it. You can either do it from the top up here, or you can do it from the edges like I do, because there's usually enough space up at the top of the helmet to add servos. So basically, what I start off with is set of servos. I prefer Metal Gear, and that's HS 82 MG. They just have better performance results. I've stripped actually a few servos. I had a HS 81, I believe it was, and I stripped it. So where these are nice solid servos that are quite hard to turn. So plus they have a different sound to them. So anyways, what I do is I take the servo.
Is now 9 a.m.
Thank you, Jarvis. Basically, I take the plastic, attach it to this, and then I attach it inside the helmet. So I'll be epoxying this and then fiberglassing it, and then going from there. Thanks, guys. Alright, so I'm going to do a run through on mounting hinges, faceplate hinges. What I've got here is a template that I used for actually one of the hinges that I had before. I took it out of my master helmet. And what we're going to do is just go ahead and line this up to the edges here. And then just pop some holes in it with the Dremel. So. Now that gives us spots to where we can mount our hinges. What I prefer to do for the bottom ones is actually use Chicago or binding post style screws. Now I bought these from Home Depot. They don't have the inset at the bottom cut into them. So what I have to do is actually chuck these up and then drill a hole down the center so I can actually center it inside here. The other ones were actually easier. Just put it in here and then screw it in from the back side, and I have to do a little bit of work. So, and the other set that I bought that had the holes in the back are from Orchard Supply. So these are just regular binding posts. So what I'm going to have to do now is drill the back of this and then stuff this through there, stuff that on the back side of that, and fiberglass it in. I got another helmet here. I'll show you what I did with that one. One moment. So as you can see on this helmet, I've already fiberglassed in the binding post. So that'll be the bottom hinge point, and then I've got the top brackets here for the servo mounting. So we'll carry on this in a little bit and walk you through the steps on how to do this. Alright, so here's the video about making the top mounts. What I've done is I've cut a couple pieces of foam up, and I'm mixing up some two-part epoxy right now. 5-minute epoxy. And what I'm going to do is I'll show you in a minute here what I've done. Now if you look here, there's basically I took pieces of foam, lined them up, and then attached the hinge pieces at the top of the mounts. So I'm going to go ahead and unclip this right now. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and put, you can see the mounting for the servos are right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of epoxy on the bottom of each one of these. So just like this. Just get it nice and coated. And the same thing on this side here. Sorry, the camera's not focusing. Just right on the bottom there. So what this allows me to do is actually make the mounts straight and the same length as far as where they go. So basically I'm going to stick this in inside here, and I've got marks at the bottom here, right there, and then right there. I took a saw and just basically cut some lines, so I have a, let's see, I have a limit mark of where I know where I need to go when I place this down. So basically we're going to place this down and then clamp this back in about another 5-10 minutes. It should be good. So let's see, it's all the way down. Now I did put epoxy all the way across the whole thing, so there's going to be a little bit of epoxy at the end of each one of these, which is fine by me. I can always remove it later. So, but you can see that I've got it at the line marked right there, and then I'm going to go ahead and clamp that down. And just hold it in place there for about probably 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, and then it should be good. So now we have completely straight hinge or servo mounts, and once this is done, I'll go ahead and fiberglass it, and it should be good to go. So I'll be back with some more on the hinges, the actual hinges, and some of the servo mountings using Z-clips and some other things. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks. Alright, so I've removed the foam from in between the servo holders now, and I'm just kind of checking for fitment. I want a little bit behind actually where the actual servo or the hinge point is, and I'll show you that in a minute here. Being that I have a template, I usually like to check and see how it fits, and this is the template for the faceplate. So as you can see, it goes up and then it goes down. So obviously I've gotten the bottom one here in the correct position. I basically have a template for the, if you look on the inside here, for this part here, and then I have a template for this as well. So basically just up and down like that. I'll be showing you guys a servo setup in a minute here. I gotta find my other Metal Gear servo. I have the one that's actually stripped, and you can hear what this sounds like. It's pretty horrible. Hear that clicking? That's stripped gears. Not a good thing. There actually might be a kit to make the HS81 into a 82 Metal Gear, because they're the same bodies. It's just they have different. This one's a plastic set and this one's metal. So as you can hear, they kind of sound different. So, but that's pretty much the next step after that. So after I get these glued in, I'll be fiberglassing them in. It's kind of nice because if I get them in the wrong position, I can actually move them, pop them back out, move them, and then re-epoxy them in before I fiberglass them in. Once I fiberglass them in, they're pretty much stuck. They stay there. There's no coming out. You got to Dremel them out in order to change the positions. I've had to do that once. Kind of sucks, but that's just the way it is. So, but that's pretty much about it for that now. Stay tuned, guys. There'll be more. Thanks. Alright, so now that we've got the side hinge set up, we're going to go ahead and move on to the faceplate. Now, here's our template, once again, for the faceplate with the holes here and here. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is actually, I've already marked on this side here where the holes would be. So here, and then here. And what I've done is actually laid up clay on the inside, and I'm going to go ahead and put some fiberglass on the inside of this section here and this section here. And then once that's dried, lay this back down on top of it, drill out a hole the size of the nut that I need, and then embed the nut into the fiberglass. So, and I'll show you guys that when I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and lay some fiberglass in here now, and I'll be back shortly.